Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Wednesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. We have finally made it, ladies and gentlemen. The offseason in the NFL officially over. Your Pittsburgh Steelers 2025-2026 season has begun. Everyone reporting to training camp in Latrobe at St. Vincent College throughout the morning and afternoon. We will discuss all that has happened so far today. We saw a bunch of players show up. We even heard from a lot of interesting people: Jalen Ramsey, TJ Watt, Omar Khan, and most recently, just before I went live, Mike Tomlin as well. We will discuss everything that has happened today in the Pittsburgh Steelers world ahead of their first practice of training camp beginning tomorrow at 1:55. We will also get into a little bit of Pittsburgh Pirate talk here on the stream. They just completing a sweep of the best team in the American League, in my opinion, the Detroit Tigers. Really confusing as to how the Pirates were able to do this after getting swept by the Chicago White Sox over the weekend. All of that and so much more coming up here on the stream tonight. First thing is first, if you're new here to the channel, please subscribe and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, feel free to leave a like and a share on the stream and comment in the comment section any thoughts, opinions, or questions that you may have. I can pop those up on the stream right here. As you see, we can interact that way. Like I said, we are going to start off today, ladies and gentlemen, with the Pittsburgh Steelers arriving at St. Vincent College in Latrobe for training camp. Going to pop up one of the many posts that the Steelers have put out here today. Let me find it real quick. Maybe I have one. Maybe I don't. Oh, there it is. Right here. Jalen Ramsey, as you see here, showing up, smiles on his face, joining the black and gold. The first time that we have seen and heard from Jalen Ramsey as a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The arrivals at the dormitories at St. Vincent today began with Patrick Queen. He was the first Steeler that I saw to show up. He also was the first one that we heard from today. Talked about the defense, being the highest paid in the NFL. Said, quote, "It's a lot of money on defense. The biggest thing is to go out there and to prove it." He also acknowledged that the defense, clear and evident to everyone, that they did slope off, in his words, at the end of the season, and that it is supposed to be the other way. So looking forward to a big year from the defense. Also, on a personal note for him, he said that it is, quote, "go time," and that there is no getting acclimated. There is no more trying to get familiar with each other. It is time to go. Love hearing that conviction there from Patrick Queen. Cole Holcomb, his linebacker brethren, showed up as well, still wearing on his left leg there that compression sleeve for his traumatic knee injury that he suffered a couple of years ago. I think that's just going to be something that we are going to need to get used to seeing on him for probably the rest of his football career. Then after those guys, the rookies, they started to show up. Jack Sawyer, he was the first rookie to arrive that I saw. Derek Harmon followed behind him. Ben Skoranek, a veteran wide receiver, he showed up ahead of his other offensive playmaker teammates. Will Howard, he showed up, big jug of water, keeping hydrated. Also, embracing the Pittsburgh culture, showed up with a Steelers shirt and a Pirate hat. Behind Howard there, the offensive linemen showed up. I did see one pair of videos. Zach Frazier and Mason McCormick, the starting center and right guard, showed up together. Troy Fautanu, he also showed up and gave a brief interview. Then the big boys, the playmakers on offense, they started to show up. And DK Metcalf, man, he is just a massive human, I got to tell you. And he looks absolutely ready to go. He posted on, I believe, his Instagram the other night that he is ready to have a breakout season. Robert Woods, who I don't know whether you would call him the wide receiver 2 or 1 right now. He also made an appearance right behind Metcalf. Jonnu Smith, his first time we've seen him as a Steeler. He showed up. I don't think he interviewed on the spot. Some players, like I said, right before they walk down those steps into Rooney Hall, the dormitory where they stay at, they will, have an impromptu little, 3-minute, 5-minute interview with some of the reporters that are out there. Calvin Austin, he showed up, currently wide receiver 2 on the depth chart. Pat Freiermuth, all smiles, entering the building. Roman Wilson, not all smiles, really a stone-faced look for him. He understands that this is going to be a big year for him. Missed pretty much all of last season with injury. Couldn't jump on the moving train, as Mike Tomlin likes to say. Well, he has got a lot to prove here. 3rd-round pick from a couple of years ago. Hopefully he can show out in training camp here, continue the momentum that he has built up to this point into the regular season. Keanu Benton, he showed up as well, told reporters he is in the, quote, best shape of my life. Good to hear that. Big year for him as well. He is going to be a key player in that top 3 defensive lineman for the Steelers alongside Derek Harmon and Cam Hayward. There is no more, is this guy competing for, is he competing with Montravius Adams? He also has Larry Ogunjobi there. This is now going to be his 3rd year in the league. He's got to show that, hey, I got to start producing here more constantly. Hopefully that's the case for him. Juan Thornhill, I believe he was the first of the defensive backs to show up. Also, he spoke with the media, but he showed off, hey, just like Will Howard, embracing the Pittsburgh culture. One of the cool things for Juan Thornhill on his arm, I'd like to say about right here, he gets a tattoo for each of the teams that he's played for. Showed off the new Steeler one that he has. The only downside is that the Steeler logo right below that dumbass looking Brownie the Elf for the Cleveland Browns. Also, sick pirate hat that he was wearing. I've never seen a pirate hat like his before. It had the barbed wire in it, camo brim. Thought that was cool. More playmakers on offense showed up. Scotty Miller walking down the steps right there. One of the rare Super Bowl champion Steelers on the roster. I'm trying to think off the top of my head who all has a ring on this pretty much brand new roster for the Steelers. Miller, one of them, of course. Aaron Rodgers, Darius Slay. Other than that, not too many people with a championship pedigree on the Steelers, as they all hopefully build towards getting one this year. Outside linebacker group, they pretty much showed up together. Nick Herbig, funny as ever. Let's go, here we go. All smiles for him. Made fun of Alex Highsmith on the way in for his Louis Vuitton glasses. Also, Herbig, I guess he was the big hauler guy this training camp. Brought what looks to be one of those, I guess, big mountain bikes, and also maybe an electric scooter. The big mountain bike belonging to TJ Watt. Herbig said, yeah, TJ gave that to me when we were working out because he can't haul it himself in whatever vehicle he brought. Then not too long after that, the $108 million guaranteed man showed up, TJ Watt. All smiles for him as well. No shock with the payday he just got. Mason Rudolph, after a year away from the team, he was the first, veteran quarterback to show up. We talked about Will Howard showing up with a bunch of the rookies early on. Rudolph was the first QB veteran to show up. Deshaun Elliott, safety, he showed up checking in. Wonder if he and Juan Thornhill are teammates to start this. Then probably our first intriguing show up to St. Vincent, Jalen Ramsey, who you see on your screen right there. He showed up. He had a solid, 5 to 6 minute interview right there at the top of the dormitory steps. First time we've heard from him since the big trade from a couple of weeks ago. Said that he is excited to be a Steeler, quote, because I can't say I've really played for a historical franchise in the past. And honestly, quite true. I guess the Rams maybe, they did win the Super Bowl with him as a part of that. Not sure how historic you would call that. Also, the Miami Dolphins, they have their own history from way in the past. Other than that, Jaguars, they aren't a historic franchise, but I guess I don't think he meant to take a shot at any of his, former employers right there. But Steelers, though, they are the most historic franchise in the NFL. As for his role in the defense, we will talk about that a bunch here, not just on tonight's stream, but throughout training camp. When asked, if he is going to have a particular role on Steelers defense, he said, quote, I'm going to play football. We're going to figure that out together. I'm not getting paid, what I'm getting paid to not affect the game and be in certain spots. That last bit of that quote there, if he was going to play safety. So looks like he is expecting to bounce around. Looks like others in the organization are expecting him to do that. More on that here shortly. After that, didn't see too many pictures of other guys showing up. No pictures of Aaron Rodgers or Darius Slay, those types of guys showing up at Latrobe. Caleb Johnson, Jalen Warren, those two running backs. Did not see pictures of them showing as well. Maybe they either got there early before, the reporters got there, or they slid in the back door. Some of the players will tend to do that. After seemingly everyone was showing up, or just about everyone showed up, TJ Watt, he did have a press conference. First time we heard from him since his deal was announced. Right here, the picture of TJ at the podium. Shout out Brian Batko for this photo. Good stuff from Watt. Said first and foremost that he is excited. He just wanted the deal to be done, and that he's excited to be there. Also said he didn't want to come here and be a distraction. Looks like Mike Tomlin, who I reported on here. Well, I told you guys it was reported on here. Seems like Watt wanted to get this deal done beforehand. So did Mike Tomlin. Omar Khan brokering it all. All things happy and good in the Steelers world. No too hostile negotiations on that front. Watt said it's hard to wrap his head around being the highest paid non-quarterback in football right now, but that he just, wants to play football. There's so much that he can give, and that he wants to give back to the city of Pittsburgh. Love hearing that. Also made a joke saying that when the team Sharkies out there near St. Vincent, popular place where Steelers fans, Steelers players go, said TJ will be picking up the check for quite some while. I would hope so. He did address, we talked about it on here before, the peace sign that he put on his Instagram story back in April. That was when, really the aggressive negotiations began, and we were all speculating, does this mean he is out? What is going on here? He's upset. We talked about that for months. He said whether he is telling the truth or whether he's lying, you can tell me about it. He said, quote, sometimes it's just fun to have fun with the narratives out there. It's fun to see what you guys are all writing. So messing with the media, that's the story that he is running with there. I kind of call BS. I think that was him actually for the first time, whether it was by his own doing or his agent telling him, hey, let everybody know that you're upset with how negotiations are going up to this point. We may never know the truth, but that is what TJ is going with on that front. Talked about moving around the defense, something big that we as fans, and I'm sure the Steelers would love to see this too, talk about Watt bouncing around on defense, kind of like how other top pass rushers, Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons, do. He said, quote, this is the perfect time of year to do that stuff. It's about trying new things and moving around. I'm sure you guys will see a good amount of that. I wonder if that is TJ, just saying that, speaking his mind that this is what I would like to do. We'll have to see if Mike Tomlin and others actually end up coming through on that narrative, but I would love to see that. We saw it last year. TJ, even though he had 11 sacks last year, still though, it was the same old thing game after game that you saw with Watt. And ultimately it led to him, going a couple games where he didn't even register a stat. Every single time, Watt lined up over here on the right side. If you're the quarterback looking at the, offense in front of you, TJ's lined up right over here. We're just going to set a tight end over here or a running back, have him get chipped on the way, and then boom, ball is out before TJ can, wreak havoc. So moving him around, add some unpredictability to the defense. Would love to see that. A couple other things here, or really last thing here that TJ said, talked about Aaron Rodgers. We haven't heard from Watt up until this point, so we're also getting his first reaction to Aaron Rodgers joining the team. Quote, "He will bring a lot to the table. I haven't been able to shake his hand and say hello yet. Hopefully, just because we didn't see him show up, hopefully Rodgers is there. Would not, see any reason why he is not. So hopefully they can get what's the word I'm looking for here? An acquaintance with each other." Not too long after TJ showed up, then it was Omar Khan's turn to head to the podium. First time we heard from him in a while, I think. When's the last time we heard from Omar? Back when the draft just wrapped up? I think that's the last time we heard from him. He did start off, if you read this here, pretty cool start. Paid homage to the late Craig Wolfley, Steelers player and radio broadcaster who passed away earlier this year. Said that Wolf will be missed. Craig Wolfley, he was always a big part in Steeler broadcasts during this training camp. It's going to be a little bit different, watching videos on YouTube, listening to Steelers radio, going through this whole training camp process without Craig Wolfley. So rest in peace to him. Omar, he then addressed, lots have happened since they last spoke. The signing of Aaron Rodgers, the Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, Minkah Fitzpatrick trade, and of course the TJ extension and the Deshaun Elliott and his own extension. Don't think he touched on his own extension. Little surprised at that. But getting into some questions he had from the media, he said that he does believe that TJ has, quote, several years left in the tank, and that it was really important that Watt remained a one-helmet guy and a Hall of Famer here in Pittsburgh. So it said several years. Hopefully those are several good years. I will add onto that there for Omar. Getting into the big trade, his biggest move probably of the offseason. As a matter of fact, that's not a probably. That was probably his biggest move of the offseason across the NFL, the biggest move that we've seen in quite some time for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Talked about the two guys that he got, said about Jalen Ramsey that he does have the flexibility to play a bunch of positions, and he's sure that we'll see him moving all over the field in 2025. Briefly mentioned Jonnu Smith, but he did say that in terms of losing Minkah Fitzpatrick, that he has a lot of respect for Minkah, but the team could not miss the chance on adding both Jalen and Jonnu to Pro Bowlers, two former All-Pros. Getting into if there was anything else coming down the line in terms of more moves for the Steelers, he said that they are not working on any other in-house extensions. So all of us talking about, could there be one last trick up his sleeve, another extension? We talked about, could it be Jalen Warren, Calvin Austin, someone like that? Looks like that will not be coming, that they are done extending people this offseason. However, he did say that you cannot rule out, he did not rule out looking at the safety market, but that they are not, going too deep into adding at safety, wide receiver, defensive line right now. He said that they feel good about the team that they have constructed. Last two things here from Omar's press conference earlier this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Said about Aaron Rodgers and the wait that the Steelers did for him. Said some people might view our patience as weakness, but we view it as a strength. I agree with that. I mean, I think we all knew that Rodgers was eventually going to sign. Hell, even going back a couple months now, it was like we'd still be talking about, hey, is Rodgers going to sign now before training camp? Is he not? Good thing he's here now. So viewing patience as weakness, but they view it as a strength. That is true in some aspects for Omar. He has been known to be a conservative yet aggressive general manager. He has shown a ton of patience where other GMs might have, overplayed their hand. However, Omar seems to be pushing most of the right buttons this offseason. On the Aaron Rodgers front, though, could you have gotten that deal done maybe a little bit earlier so that you knew, hey, this is what we're paying him. Now we can go attack free agency before all the good free agents get scooped up? Maybe, but not going to get too upset about that. He also said, last thing here is that the team will be smart with how they handle the veteran players in terms of workload during training camp and the preseason. So I think we all kind of expected that. Enjoy your, 1 to 2 series, maybe even 3 of Aaron Rodgers in one of the preseason games. Enjoy, I don't know, maybe altogether a quarter or a half of Jalen Ramsey, DK Metcalf, Darius Slay, those types of guys, Cam Hayward, and TJ Watt. I bet you see little to none of them. Alex Highsmith, he might get a quarter of a game at some point. So I like that. Your veterans, even though a good bit of them are brand new and you would like to see them a good bit, have them put out some good tape on your team, I understand it. Keep the veterans safe and sound. Just make sure that they get to the start of the regular season. Also, good. We get to see a lot of these rookies, this highly touted rookie class that the Steelers have. So Derek Harmon, Will Howard, Caleb Johnson, Jack Sawyer, lots of those guys to keep an eye on in the preseason games. Continuing here, talking about the Steelers here today. I forgot to change the banner. TJ Watt, Omar Khan, they held press conferences. Moving on to a new press conference. I did not get to update this banner before the live stream here tonight. Coach Tomlin, Mike Tomlin, just spoke a little bit before I went live. Real quick, let's go to the comments section real quick. Freight Train in the comment section. Welcome back, Freight Train. Both Tunch and Wolf will be missed. I listened to the radio stream and watched the games. Yeah, Tunch too. He was always a great one. Craig Wolfley, gonna miss hearing him. It was, my generation for me. Listened to Tunch a little bit when I was a kid, but then it was Bill Hillgrove and Craig Wolfley. Hillgrove still going, not with the Steelers. He's still doing, I think, Pitt basketball and football. So that's good. But Wolfley, I always loved. He was one of those old school broadcasters, color commentators, where he would come in with, good one-line zingers, good, sayings and catchphrases. He will be missed, and, going to be watching any sort of content that the Steelers put out there on their YouTube channel over training camp. It would always be, I think, Mike Pursuta. You'll see Max Starks on there as well, but Wolfley, he was always big on there. So it's going to be a little bit different watching that Steelers content without him. Continuing on here, like I said, Mike Tomlin, he just held his press conference about an hour ago now. I think between Omar Khan's press conference and Tomlin's press conference, the conditioning test that the Steelers, and really, I think, I'm not sure if all NFL teams do it, but I would like to think so. Anyways, Tomlin, he talked about the conditioning test, and the Steelers just like last year when we unfortunately learned of Russell Wilson, him straining his calf. Not all Steelers made it through the conditioning test unscathed. Now, I say that because I don't trust the current training and conditioning staff. They had the Steelers, that is, a ton of soft tissue injuries last year. Well, that trend is at least going to continue to start off training camp this year. Tomlin began his press conference saying that starting left guard, Isaac Seumalo, has a soft tissue injury that was unspecified, and he will likely go on the non-football injury list. So take that back. It wasn't a part of the training and conditioning staff, but still going to take a little bit for me to trust them and what they're doing. In the meantime, I would assume Spencer Anderson will be the, substitute starting left guard to start training camp, maybe even a preseason with Seumalo out now. Maybe you see him in the last preseason game just to get a little bit of work in, and maybe in the last handful of practices before the regular season begins. But, hopefully that isn't something that lingers throughout the season and that he can make a full recovery. Then Tomlin got into some other moves that were made this offseason, said that this aggressive offseason is new territory for the team, but they do know who they have due to previous interactions through the draft process and other situations. Talked about the defensive backs quite a bit, said that he does not care how you describe it or how you describe them. Joey Porter Jr., Darius Slay, and Jalen Ramsey will all play a lot, and they are all considered as starters. Said, quote, "We're going to start Jalen Ramsey in particular regardless. Where they move Jalen Ramsey depends on offense." And talking about the collective three corners, Porter, Slay, and Ramsey, quote, "They're coverage people. Describe them however you wish to describe them. They will be out there a lot together." So I'd like to think, top of my head here, you're going to see Porter and Slay as the two main outside guys. And then you will see Ramsey. He is going to be the wild card in that defensive back room. And I like it. Unpredictability. Let a playmaker do his thing. You'll see him in the slot. You'll see him back at safety. You'll even see him, if I had to guess, at outside corner. Probably in that case, he'll knock off the field one of Joey Porter Jr. or Darius Slay. Or if he doesn't, move Ramsey to outside corner for a couple of snaps. See if Darius Slay can play safety and all that. Either way, love the unpredictability. We'll be guessing ourselves as to what the Steelers are going to do back there. But from what I'm hearing, the lip service that Khan, Tomlin, even Ramsey himself are given up to this point, I like it that they are going to be rotating around and putting their best players on the field at all times. Talking about the other half of that trade that brought Jalen Ramsey to the Steelers, said that Jonnu Smith, he is a matchup issue and is a dynamic player with the ball in his hands. So looks like we will see a continuation of Jonnu Smith like what we have seen from him in his previous stops. He's not just a tight end, lineup next to the offensive line, even put his hand in the dirt as a blocker from the time to time. He can move out as a slot receiver. Even he can play a little bit of fullback. So hopefully he gets used to the best of his abilities. And then the final mention of the big trade that went down a couple of weeks ago, Tomlin said, quote, "It was a very difficult decision and a tough choice to part ways with Minkah Fitzpatrick." Said that he is a great player, really gave Minkah his flowers as he made his way out the door. We can still speculate whether what role Minkah played in the defensive slump at the end of last season, and if he and Tomlin had as rosy of a relationship that we assumed that they had up until last year. We may never know, but Tomlin giving Minkah his kudos on the way out. Tomlin then continued. Couple more things here. Talked about Aaron Rodgers and what his workload will be in training camp and preseason. He said, quote, "He's a workaholic. I don't have a whole lot of reservations about that." He did say that he anticipates Rodgers to participate in team periods starting at tomorrow's opening practice. Good to hear. Rodgers, if we remember, only did off to the side stuff during mandatory minicamp. And then, of course, during the break between minicamp and training camp, brought all of his, well, not all, but most of his offensive playmakers, his receivers, and Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington out to Malibu. They got some work and some chemistry in out there. That's at least a good starting point. With Rodgers being a part of team, being part of full team activities in training camp starting tomorrow. We'll have to see how that chemistry was formed out in Malibu and how he will still need to grow chemistry with his running backs and, most importantly, in my opinion, the offensive line. A couple other things here, or really the last thing here that Mike Tomlin said in his press conference today. He said that there are some questions still to be answered, like the number 2 wide receiver, and those questions will be answered throughout training camp. So right now, without anyone, being a heavy favorite to be brought in, if anybody gets brought in at all, for the wide receiver 2 hole, looks like it's an open competition for Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson, Robert Woods, even highly doubt this ends up being the case, even, Ben Skoranek, someone like that. So we will see how that plays out. Keep an eye on the wide receivers and what they do in training camp. Related to one wide receiver in particular, Tomlin said that the expectations for Roman Wilson will be those of a second-year player and not a rookie. Said that he showed up highly conditioned and that he had a good offseason. Now it's a matter of Roman going out on the field and putting all the work he did in the offseason, putting all that work into training camp and capitalizing on it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I think is just about all that we've seen from training camp in Pittsburgh, or I guess I should say in Latrobe here today. Pretty newsworthy opening day of training camp. Love seeing that. As a matter of fact, the Steelers here, not going to turn the sound up on it, but I will share my screen here real quick. Just posting this video as I've been live here, back to school. There's everyone showing up and talking here today. Miles Killebrew, first I've seen him show up. Not sure if that was Caleb Johnson or not, heading on down the steps. I think that was Robert Woods right there. There's Deshaun Elliott. I guess that was Troy Fautanu. So lots to look forward to here for training camp. And it's only the beginning. Excited. Steeler football is back. Could not be happier to talk with you guys for now nearly 40 minutes on this topic. We don't have to start off the day talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates and how bad they have done. We will get into the Pirates here coming up, but Steeler football is back. Feels like a massive part of us has come back. The fire has been ignited. Excited. Let's go. Going to be a next fun next couple of months here on the channel. Before I continue on any further, we'll ask all of you in here right now to, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, like and share this live stream and comment in the live comment section, just like Freight Train did a little bit ago. Like I said, going to get into some Pittsburgh Pirate talk here. They officially becoming the secondary team on the channel now, with the Steelers back together again. And today the Pirates, shocking the world, I guess. Gonna start talking about last night. They played last night after I hopped off of stream, and then they played an afternoon game today. Last night, Spencer Horwitz, second inning with the bases loaded, came through with a double for the black and gold to left center field. That scored 2 runs. Then O'Neal Cruz, some excellent base running. Brian Hayes grounded a ball to third base. Throw to first was in the dirt. First baseman Spencer Torkelson, he couldn't pick it. And as he was lollygagging going for the ball, Cruz, who was at second, went to third and then pretty much stole home. One of the most savvy base running plays by the Pirates that we've seen in quite some time. Probably even thinking back to the days of when Josh Harrison and Starling Marte were on the team. That's how good of a running play that was for Cruz. Brian Reynolds, he then singled to left. That brought home Spencer Horwitz. Made it 4-0 Tommy Pham. He drove in Reynolds 5-0. Then Mitch Keller was on the bump, really his only blemish of the night. The 9-hole hitter, catcher Jake Rogers, who was hitting 159 heading into last night's ball game, hit the ball over the fence, 5-3 was the score then. Reynolds then again, base hit to center field, 6-3. Tommy Pham doubled home Brian Reynolds, 7-3. Bucks made it a rout, then 8-3. Brian Hayes, a single scored Tommy Pham. Lots of run support for Mitch Keller, which you love to see. Keller, by the way, outstanding. Another quality start for him. 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, walked 3. A little rough there with his control at times, but he did struck out 5. Wasn't his best start, but a quality start nonetheless for Keller. Let's just hope that was not his final start in the black and gold. I've come around to, hey, if you're going to trade Keller, you better get back at least 1, probably 2 big league bats in return for him. However, over recent days, I've come to the realization that Ben Cherington is still the general manager. We can say one thing on here saying what the Pirates should get, and ultimately what everyone is saying the Pirates should get for Keller. But do you trust Ben Cherington to get value return for what he sells off? Absolutely not. After Keller departed, bullpen then took over. Jahmai Jones, I believe second baseman for the Cubs, hit a 2-run shot off Caleb Ferguson. David Bednar, he came in for the save once again, just like Keller, hoping that was not the last time we saw David Bednar in the black and gold. And that was the final score, 8-5. The first time since 2002, since 2002, that 3 Pirate players had at least 2 doubles in a game. Horwitz, Pham, and O'Neal Cruz. Those were the 3 that had a pair of doubles. Also, Brian Reynolds and Brian Hayes with doubles as well. 8 total doubles from the Pirates yesterday. You absolutely loved seeing that. Then, moving into today's ball game, it was a 12:35 start for the black and gold, off and running immediately. Andrew McCutchen got the party started in the top of the first inning with a home run. And then, bases loaded, bottom of the second, Spencer Horwitz. What a beauty. Showing off some of that power that he has flashed inconsistently, but from time to time. Looks like that wrist injury, that chronic wrist injury that he had in spring training, looks like that it is all healed. 416 feet, 106 miles an hour off the bat, grand slam to pretty much dead center field. Made it 5-0. Absolutely love seeing that from Horwitz. He's grown on me a little bit as the Bucks first baseman. As a starting first baseman, probably not. Pirates still need one of those, but if you see Horwitz every now and again, once or twice a series for the Pirates moving forward, assuming that he stays on the team past this year, I'd be okay with it. Continuing on, That was, by the way, the first career Grand Slam of Spencer Horwitz's career. Brian Reynolds, later on in the game, tacked on another run. He doubled, moved up to third. O'Neal Cruz knocked him in with a sacrifice fly. The Cubs, they got one gentleman run, so it wasn't a shutout off of Bailey Falter. Falter, by the way, outstanding. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, gave up 1 run, walked none, struck out 8. And I'm impressed with those 8 strikeouts, not because Bailey Falter, he's not the biggest strikeout pitcher in the league, but because I think he went into the 3rd inning only having 1 strikeout. I think he got his first strikeout of the ball game in the 3rd inning, and then he just turned it on there in the next 4 innings, striking out 7 more. So congrats, hell yeah, Bailey Falter. He was then relieved for Carmen Mlodzinski. Mlodzinski went the rest of the way, pitching the 8th and the 9th. O'Neal Cruz tack on a dazzling diving catch from him and a series sweep for the Bucks. 6-1 final. Season high 8 strikeouts in season high 7 innings for Bailey Falter. The Pirates inexplicably sweeping the Detroit Tigers, and per the Elias Sports Bureau, the Pirates, they are the first team since the 1980 San Diego Padres to sweep the best team in a league, this being the Tigers, and then to do that after getting swept by the worst team in a league in back-to-back series. So, Pirates, even with how this season has gone so horribly wrong, really from the start, still find ways to make history. Do you count this as good history, bad history? I don't know. Most of the history that the Bucks have made this season has been bad, but I'll take it. Ebbs and flows of a baseball season. The only downside to this is that kind of a Ben Cherington specialty in recent years of his ball club team. All of a sudden, they start to figure it out and start to play well when the games do not matter whatsoever. So now, with the Steelers back in training camp and the spotlight of the Pittsburgh sports world moving back off of the Pirates, then they start to play well. They sucked when it mattered, and they're good when it doesn't. Typical Pirates, I'll tell you. Okay, before we continue on here, ladies and gentlemen, love seeing all of you in here right now. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. I appreciate it. Going to continue with more Pittsburgh sports news here in a minute. Going to real quick take another stroll through Twitter, see if any new news has gone down since going live. The Cleveland Browns, we're going to talk about them here in a minute. And for good reason. They are just a train wreck right now. Seeing a video here. We talked about the newbies for the Steelers. How about the 2 new guys for the Baltimore Ravens, DeAndre Hopkins and Jair Alexander? First time we are seeing them in Ravens purple and black. It's going to be a hell of a matchup, I'll tell you that much, when the Steelers and Ravens meet twice this year, at least. Not going to roll out that we could see a rematch of last year's playoffs with how these 2 teams are built. All right, now we are going to continue on here with the more Pittsburgh news segment of the program. Back talking about one of those Steelers additions, guy who's popular today, Jalen Ramsey. He cracks the top 100 players in the NFL list, coming in at number 66. He is the 3rd Steeler to come in on the top 100 list thus far. Cam Hayward, if you remember, I believe was number 83, and linebacker Patrick Queen was number 75. Now Ramsey at number 66. quite a fall down from him. Last year, he was number 25 in the top 100. Now, this year, 66. Hopefully, a bounce back year for him. You would hope so. About the guy going the other way in the trade that brought Ramsey to Pittsburgh, Minkah Fitzpatrick, officially back with the Dolphins, will wear number 29, the number that he wore his first year in the league. Also, his team picture was put out there on the Dolphins website. And yeah, looks real happy to be back in South Florida. Speaking of former Steelers with the Dolphins, sucks seeing this, even though this guy had a disappointing career as a Pittsburgh Steeler, and he's been a journeyman, around the NFL since he left Pittsburgh. You hate seeing this. Artie Burns, who I honestly, up until this point, forgot that he signed down there with the Dolphins and probably would have gotten a good shot with how weak the Dolphins cornerback room is down there. He went down in practice with the Dolphins today, and fears are that he tore his ACL. Hopefully that is not the case for him. Prayers for Artie Burns. Hopefully everything will get better and go better for him moving forward. That sucks. Still talking about defensive backs here. The Steelers, in my opinion, they missed out on a good possible addition to their defensive back room. They still got Deshaun Elliott and Juan Thornhill as their two starting safeties right now, but behind them, Sebastian Castro, an undrafted free agent. He's probably your third starting safety right now, along with Miles Killebrew, but he's a core special teamer. So safety, probably the thinnest position on the team right now in the Steelers. This was reported last night, but the deal became official this afternoon. Safety Julian Blackmon, a former starting safety for the Indianapolis Colts, who is unsigned up until this point. He is signing with the New Orleans Saints a 1-year, $5.5 million deal. The Saints last night learning that longtime NFL safety Tyrann Mathieu retired from the NFL. Blackmon, 26 years old, would have been a somewhat young guy on this defense. 62 games, had 300 tackles and 10 interceptions. Would have been a nice guy to compete with Juan Thornhill for deep field safety, but now he heads down to New Orleans, and now that puts the Steelers pressure on them to, I think they're going to add a safety. We will see who gets cut, who gets released from, other teams as training camps around the NFL roll on, but that'll put more pressure on the Steelers, limit their options into getting a high caliber starting safety. The main one, I guess, still out there being Justin Simmons right now. So we'll have to wait and see what happens on that front. Also, another free agent out there right now, just like Justin Simmons. We've talked about this guy before, and he said that he said that he's not coming to the Steelers. But hey, never say never. As time goes on, positions and circumstances change. Jordan Schultz pointing out there this morning that Keenan Allen still is a free agent out there, and that he is healthy. He's just waiting to see how the landscape in wide receiver groups across the NFL are panning out. Still an option for the Steelers at WR2 there. Last mention, I think, of a former Steeler right here. Even though the Steelers do not play the Giants this year, that's a shame because Russell Wilson, according to Giants head coach Brian Daboll, is their starting quarterback. So no Jackson Dart, no Jameis Winston. Wilson, the gunslinger, the moonball thrower, still QB1 in the league. He will be QB1 with the New York Giants to start this upcoming year. Few other things here, ladies and gentlemen, wrapping up some Pittsburgh Steelers talk for the day. I want to say that this was a couple of months ago, but it is now just coming out. Caleb Johnson, he was on Up and Adams with Kay Adams, and he said that he has been working out with Le'Veon Bell ahead of training camp. Kay Adams posting this video. I'm speculating when this exactly came out because, Johnson in this interview, he's in full Steelers uniform with the Panini sponsor background behind him. And the only other time that I knew that Johnson will be dressed up like that with that background was at the rookie premiere back when Johnson and all the other rookies in the NFL were drafted. So I guess Kay Adams thought, hey, maybe to get a couple clicks, post this now. Caleb Johnson working out with Lev Bell. Aside from when this was said, when this was posted, I love that. Johnson seems to be a guy where he can be a running back, any running back you want. He said it himself. I can be a Derrick Henry. I can be a Dalvin Cook. Lots of people here have said that, he will be Najee Harris, but better. If he's working with Le'Veon Bell, which I believe Johnson said that main things he's working with Lev Bell is, catching the football, being a receiving back and pass blocking. But it's not just those two things that they're working out on, I'm sure. If Lev Bell can give him a trick or two that he utilized when he was in the league, Caleb Johnson might turn out to be one of the most dangerous running backs in the entire NFL. Insane. So happy to hear that. Last thing here, in terms of football news, not related directly to the Steelers, but we're going to take a couple minutes here and laugh at the Cleveland Browns. Today, they dropped these. Their new alternate uniforms, kind of like their Color Rush uniforms from the past. But yeah, I get everyone, including some Steelers fans, are critical for the Steelers throwback uniforms, but my God, it is appropriate that Dude Wipes is sponsoring this uniform drop, because literal feces brown with this orange, that is an ugly ass uniform for the Browns. And if you thought that was bad enough, it just keeps getting better. Let me pop this up here real quick. There was a reveal for these jerseys, or I think at least for the helmets. There was a float out on the lake there in Cleveland to reveal this. Dude Wipes, by the way, sponsoring this yet again. There was a float out there where they revealed this helmet. To me, keep an eye here on this person right here. I assume, media person for the Cleveland Browns. They're on this, I guess, floating platform. The media person shooting the reveal of this helmet falls off of the float into the water. And then I'm not sure if this is Brownie the Elf or some other of the dumbass Cleveland mascots that they got 3 different ones of them, tosses them the life preserver out into the water. I do not think this is a skit, which, by the way, all we know is that the person fell into the water. I assume that they're all right. Hope so, at least. Hope that everything is good and that they are safe and sound. I assume if something went catastrophically wrong, that we would have heard about it by now. But yeah, this is as Browns can get. They release ugly uniforms sponsored by Dude Wipes. So I guess Dude Wipes, appropriate, sponsor for how crap their team has been forever. And as they are getting ready, I'm sure making a cool hype up video for this, the person filming falls off the floating platform. And the mascot has to be the one to save them, throwing the life preserver in. Yep. That's as Browns as it gets. quoting Juju Smith-Schuster, the Browns is the Browns. And if you didn't get enough of a laugh off of that, also, by the way, Myles Garrett, he talked today. He said, quote, it's not a quote, but he said, shout out Mary Kay Cabot, good cover for the Browns. Myles Garrett expects to win the Super Bowl and the NFL Defensive Player of the Year this year. Myles Garrett expects to win the Super Bowl with the Cleveland Browns and to win Defensive Player of the Year. Maybe if he actually, held through on his little, college transfer commitment-like graphic that he put out there when he requested a trade before he got paid. Maybe if he actually was on a new team, then that actually would have, somewhat of a chance of coming true. However, he's got to remember that he signed up for $40 million a year for an eternity of hell with the Cleveland Browns. Absolutely hilarious that he thinks they are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I get that, is common talk around the league. Everyone around the league. New beginnings springs eternal hope, whatever the saying goes like. Every single team around the NFL, their goal is to win the Super Bowl every year. If it's not that, then they're not doing it right. However, expecting to win DPOY, which I would say it's not a slam dunk guarantee that he gets it again unless PFF really gushes about his fake almost got you, I coughed on the quarterback stats. He's still got TJ Watt to compete with. And also, looking at how the NFL has been doing DPOY for the past couple of years, because Watt doesn't have 3 right now, I like to think that they're really passing off the Defensive Player of the Year award to everyone. So everyone, participation trophy, everyone gets a DPOY. If I had to guess this year, probably going to be Micah Parsons. It was Watt, then it was Garrett, then it was Pat Surtain. Now it's going to be Micah Parsons, because if they legitimately gave the best defensive player in the league the Defensive Player of the Year award every year, Watt would have 3 or 4 by now. That's it. We're done laughing at the Browns for now. Until the season starts, then we'll, I'm sure, laugh at them some more. Have fun trying to win the Super Bowl, Miles, with Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco or Shadur Toretto Sanders or 5'2" Dylan Gabriel. We'll see how that plays out. Back into some Pittsburgh Pirate talk real quick. Aside from the MLB team, a scary incident last night. If you don't know him until now, you're about to learn about him. Esmeralyn Valdez. He has been probably the second best player hitting prospect that the Pirates have had so far this season. Valdez, throughout the minors this year so far, in 312 at-bats, he has a 288 batting average, a 927 OPS, 20 home runs, and 58 RBIs. A scary incident for him last night in Altoona. I'm going to pop up the video here that I see, or that I found. Shout out to Christian Wolf for posting this video. Valdez last night playing right field slid into the wall in right field at the Altoona Curve Park. And as you can see here, was injured. Reports say that he was taken off of the field on a cart. We're going to get the good view of it here. Came a long ways to try to catch this ball, and going sliding into the wall there. I couldn't tell there, again, as Christian points out there, poor quality. Couldn't tell if it was an ankle injury or if he, maybe hit his leg sliding into the wall, but you hate seeing that for an organization that is absolutely horrendous at hitting in the majors and in the minors. Very, very bright spot in Connor Griffin. Second bright spot in Esmeralyn Valdez. You hate to see anyone having a year that he is having go down like that. More on Valdez. Altoona Curve manager Andy Fox said that Valdez was in the hospital last night getting x-rays on his lower leg, and that the full extent of the injury would be known today. Valdez last night posted on, I think, all of his social medias, quote, "My people, everything is fine. My season is not over yet. I'm ready." Good to hear that from Valdez. And then we got the, I guess what you would say, a definitive word on his condition earlier today. Alex Stumpf of MLB.com covering the Pirates said that Valdez, he has a lower leg contusion and x-rays came back negative. He is day-to-day at the moment. One of the better possible outcomes after a scary-looking injury last night. So good to hear that on Valdez. Hopefully only misses day-to-day. Usually it means he'll be out a week or two. Hopefully that is all. And that this isn't something that's going to, knock him off of his hot streak that he has been on all of this year. Speaking of Pirates prospects and their injuries, we did get word on another Pirate prospect who I think is, I guess you would put him as another bright spot hitter in the Pirates system. Now, not to the level of Connor Griffin or Valdez, but Jack Brannigan, third baseman, infielder prospect for the Bucks, with Altoona Curve right now. He had right shoulder surgery to repair a labral in his shoulder, and he will be out for the rest of the season, with anticipation being that he will recover fully and be ready to go next year. Next here in extra Pirate talk, I did not listen to this yet, but apparently Noah Hiles of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette was on 93.7 The Fan this afternoon, and he has been on top of all the Pirate trade rumors, whether it be Mitch Keller, Key Brian Hayes, Isaiah Kiner Falefa, Dennis Santana, David Bednar, you name it. If there's a trade rumor or something to report on the Pirates about a potential trade, Hiles, he is the one to follow and get that information. One thing that I did not expect to hear from him, and I hate that I am hearing it from him, on 93.7 The Fan this afternoon, he said that the Pirates, they are getting trade calls on O'Neal Cruz, and that the Pirates are listening to offers. Now, am I shocked to hear that O'Neal Cruz is, getting calls, that the Pirates are getting calls about Cruz? Absolutely not. Inconsistent during regular season play up to this point, yes, but when you go out there and you put on the show that he did in the Home Run Derby, and since he came back from the All-Star break, he's been on a little bit of a heater. Yes, you are expected to get calls on pretty much all of your players with how bad this Pirates team is right now. However, to listen to those offers, I will throw up live on stream if O'Neal Cruz gets traded by this general manager, Ben Cherington. We've talked about Cruz being an extension candidate for the Pirates, and him probably being the best talented player behind Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens, he is the most athletically, most God-gifted, talented player on the Pirates team. But for players, Cruz is that, far and away, the most gifted, athletic, skilled player on the team. And you, in a win-now period with Paul Skeens, whether you like it or not, no matter how bad you are, you're in a win-now period, you're going to listen to offers on O'Neal Cruz. If Ben Cherington trades away O'Neal Cruz, I will flip out on stream and probably yell obscenities and profanities that I have tried my best to refrain from using on this stream when talking about the Pirates. If Ben Cherington does this, he is not going to get back what you need in return for Cruz. Also, Cruz, you need to win with guys like that. You cannot win without guys who are on a whole nother level when they are at their peak. And Cruz is one of those rare athletes in the MLB where when he is on, he is probably a top 5, top 10 player in the MLB. And if you ship him off somewhere else, chances are that he is going to figure it out. Or not that he is going to figure out, that another team is going to figure him out, and that he will become a superstar and unlock the full potential that he has. So, just shocked to hear that the Pirates are listening to those offers. Not shocked that the Pirates are getting calls on Cruz, but it will be one hell of a time on this stream if he is moved within the next week in change before the deadline on the 31st. Don't do it, Ben. I don't even want you to trade Keller. I don't want him to trade Keller or Cruz or Reynolds, even though Reynolds' stock is really, really low. That's actually kind of a good enough reason to keep from trading Reynolds, because his stock is so low. If you were going to trade him, you'd want his stock to be high. But no trading Keller, no trading Reynolds, no trading Cruz, because I do not trust Ben Cherington to get back maximum return for those guys. And if you want to ship off David Bednar and Dennis Santana, probably not going to get back anything good for them, but at least you can somewhat compile a bullpen together that can still be good. Ke'Bryan Hayes, Isaiah Kiner, or Ke'Bryan Hayes, get his contract off the book. IKF, Caleb Ferguson, Andrew Heaney, all those guys on a 1-year deal, they can go as well. Just don't make any sizable move. Because even if it looks good in the time being, it'll probably be botched some way sooner or later by Ben Cherington. Okay, next, moving on here with some extra Pirate talk. Another draftee signing by the Bucks here today. One of two catchers that they drafted. I think this was a middle round pick here by the Pirates. Catcher Adonis Guzman from Arizona. He signed his rookie contract with the Bucks, just under a $500,000 signing bonus, slot value for the 144th pick. And speaking of the Pirates and their draft, Jonathan Mayo of MLB Pipeline talked about him recently on stream and his thoughts on the Pirates, what they should do at the deadline and their prospect system. Mayo, he said that he loved the Pirates draft, and more importantly, he loved the first round selection of the Bucks, Seth Hernandez. Mayo of MLB Pipeline saying, quote, "I may have done a little bit of a fist pump when Seth Hernandez landed at 6. He has a chance to be a frontline starter and probably not that long from now." Reason why I brought this up, Mayo, he does a good job, probably the most educated person when it comes to MLB prospects and the draft and all that. But also that ending quote there on Seth Hernandez, the ending of that, probably not that long from now, he will be a frontline starter. That gives me a tad bit more hope that we will get to see Seth Hernandez someday pitching with Paul Skeens instead of pitching in place of Paul Skeens. Hopefully that comes true down the line. Last thing here related to the Pirates, and bad news, actually. More PR nightmares for Bob Nutting and his organization. A clay shooting range owned by Bob Nutting in Somerset, PA, so not too far from where I am reading this here from WPXI, their story out on it. Lead poisoning, or I guess lead contamination in a creek in Clay stemming from a gun range owned by Bob Nutting. The official beginning of the story here from WPXI. After months of testing the water of Blue Hole Creek for heavy metals, the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection sent a notice to Highlands Sporting Clay, a clay shooting range in Somerset County, saying they believe the lead and other heavy metal concentrations in the water are because of lead shots at the range. That range owned by Bob Nutting. Thought that was newsworthy. More PR nightmares for Bob Nutting and company. Back here to the comments before I continue on with two. Hang on. THP, I see your comments here. Wrapping up here, the extra news here today. Just two smallest of small Pittsburgh Penguin news here today. We are now an hour and 15 minutes into stream and have not mentioned the Penguins one bit. Two small stories, the smallest of stories. I will probably talk about them with their off-season, in a down period right now. Former Pittsburgh Penguin, kind of, Nathan Beaulieu, defenseman. He was acquired by Ron Hextall in 2022 at the trade deadline, and he was injured for all of that span, and he only took warm-ups in a couple of playoff games in a Penguins uniform. He retired after an 11-year NHL career. Funny here, the NHLPA posting a graphic of him retiring 471 career games he played, showing all the jerseys that he was in. Not one of the Pittsburgh Penguins. So I guess congratulations on a good career. Also, former Penguin Daniel Sprong. Remember a time ago when he was, the top prospect for the Pens? He is heading overseas along with a slew of other former Penguins this offseason, heading overseas to play over in Europe and Russia. He joins CSKA Moscow in the KHL. So good luck to Daniel Sprong over there. All right, now that is all wrapped up, we are going to get into the comment section here. THP, welcome back, THP. Been doing push-ups in the bathroom. No idea what that comment is about. Cancel this franchise. The Pirates. Preach to the choir, buddy. I mean, the PR nightmares continue. From Clemente Wall fiasco, Bucko Bricks, fan falling from the stands, Usher punching a fan, now Bob Nutting, a gun range owned by him poisoning the water not too far from where I live. Sounds to me like a lot of people who are public relations related to the Pirates, they might be out of the job here later on this year. It's just unbelievable that the Pirates are getting big-time players, but exactly. And that's why I just said I will lose my mind on here if O'Neal Cruz gets moved. You have a godsend from the baseball gods and Paul Skeens in your grasp. And in his first full year, you have been out of it for a couple months now. And also you got now still, it's a little disappointing that he hasn't, unlocked his full potential, at least I believe, up until this point. You got a dude who is one of the most athletically gifted baseball players on the planet in O'Neal Cruz. And you are, I think the record now, 42-61. So far out of contention for a wild card, let alone your division. And you're taking calls on one of your two best players. Get the hell out of here. It's going to be a fun next couple of days here leading up to the trade deadline. Training camp for the Steelers now in full swing. And I'm sure we're going to get a trade here sooner or later from the Bucks. We'll see what happens. But, talking about, the Pirates. Probably I will not go to a game this year. Guarantee you that. However, just because I will not go to a game does not mean that I can give someone who does go to the game at least somewhat worth of their money. And happy to show, over my time on the stream, I've collected quite a good bit of things here from the Pirates. Well, first, I got the 50th anniversary terrible towel right there. Trying to think. I got the Pittsburgh Pirate Yin's glasses that they did WWE night. And also, she has been secured, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Let me take away the banner here real quick. Probably my favorite thing that I wanted this year that the Pirates were coming out of. I sure as hell wasn't traveling to Pittsburgh and sitting through a game to secure one of these bad boys. But Mac Miller bobblehead has been secured. I'm only going to do a couple of seconds of this, but she's here. Knock knock plays, boys. Love you, Mac. Pirates. You're bad on the field. You're bad in a lot of aspects here, but occasionally you will hit a home run with a promotional giveaway, and that was one of them. Back to the comments here real quick. THP. Are Pirates tickets cheap? Fun Stadium? Oh, absolutely. On both. Tickets, they are the most reasonable out of the three professional sports teams. Even though the Penguins are going to be bad, their tickets are still sometimes kind of crazy. And the Steelers, kind of like any other NFL ticket, they're always insane to try to get a hold of. But yeah, tickets are pretty reasonable for the Pirates. In Fun Stadium, you will never have a more funner time. And I get, more funner, not even a grammatically correct saying or word, but you will not have more fun watching a crap baseball team in a crap baseball game than you will at that stadium. Most beautiful venue in all of sports, in my opinion. Concessions, fantastic. Yeah, good experience, except for when the game actually starts. Sometimes. Yeah, Nike's on my feet. Nike's on my feet. Nike. Yep. Yeah, Nike's off. Mac, RIP. We miss Mac here in Pittsburgh, and that's what still urges me and ekes me to no end. How people are like, oh, this is a stupid giveaway. Is my generation not allowed to have anything worth celebrating? Here we go to the ballpark and we watch this crap team, which has been crap for all of our lives. Are we not allowed to have at least a promotional giveaway that relates to us some way, somehow? But hey, let's go do an 800th Mr. Rogers promotional giveaway, which Mr. Rogers, by not dissing him at all, but still, though, do you want to do a retread of something else that already has been done before? This is new. Then this is the first time, I think, honestly, that my generation has gotten a promotional giveaway like this since they did the Wiz Khalifa bobbleheads years ago. So, yeah. Yeah, Knock Knock. Nice song of choice there. Could have done a Party on Fifth Avenue. As a matter of fact, the box that the bobblehead came in is right there. It'll probably sit right there for decoration, but on top of it, it has Party on Fifth Avenue. You could have put Party of Fifth Avenue as a song of choice. Nike's on My Feet would have been a good one. Blue World could have been a good one. Best Day Ever would have been a solid one as well. Yeah, I like it. Mac actually talks about Pittsburgh. He repped it. Yeah, and he is one of those guys. Wiz does it too. Khalifa. Wiz does do it too. But Mac, one of those guys where no matter how big he get, never forgot where he came from. I mean, hell, each and every single video appearance, you always saw right here on his hand, the good old Pirate P. As a matter of fact, they actually did a good job of it. I'm going to try to show it here to the camera. It won't focus. Anyway, yeah, right there. Very faintly. There's the Pirate P. Always repped his city. Without shame. Rep those places to eat, etc. Yeah. As a matter of fact, the bobblehead cuts off knock knock. Cuts off a little bit before the line in his song, "Keep it smell like an Eaton Park cookie." Never forgot where he grew up from. Where he was born and raised in the city that made him. Thank you, Mac. Thank you, THP, for commenting. I'm going to take one more stroll here through Twitter, see if anything else is going on here before we log off for the evening. See more pictures of Jalen Ramsey here. It's all smiles as a Steeler. Looks like, who was it? Adonis Guzman, the rookie, or the draftee catcher for the Pirates. Looks like he is not the only one signing here today. So Guzman signed. We got 3 other rookie signings for the Bucks as well. Dylan Palmer, Cam Keyshock, and Eddie King Jr. Those rookies for the Pirates also signing here tonight. Congratulations to him, or to them. Take one last scroll here through the notifications page here. See if anything else is going on. All right, not seeing much of anything, so that looks like it's going to do it. To the comments section real quick. THP again. Foolish, bro. Like tuning in afternoons to get your view. Thank you very much, THP. Like it. Thank you very much. And thank you all for joining me here tonight. I appreciate it very, very much. We will be back here same time tomorrow, and we will have lots to talk about, I'm sure. We'll break down what all went down in the first practice of the 2025 training camp for the Pittsburgh Steelers. All that and much more coming up tomorrow. So, it's adjusting my camera here. There we go. There we go. Do that after the fact, mess with that some more. So, for the final time tonight, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much once again for tuning in. Come back tomorrow. We'll have lots to talk about. More Pirates, more Steelers. Maybe the Penguins if they ever get their crap together and start entertaining us with a trade or two. Whatever. We'll talk about it all back here tomorrow. For the final time, please like, share, and comment on this live stream. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Might be bringing some other new stuff to the channel here within the coming weeks. Until then, join me back here tomorrow. Same time as always. Thank you very, very much. The 2025 Pittsburgh Steelers season has begun, and we're going to cover it all from start to finish right here on the Steel City Sports Report. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your Wednesday night. Back here tomorrow. Peace.